isn't tracking right, something is not working properly.
I want to look like more information is coming out to how Caitlin Clark re-aggravated that
generational talent, your star player, the cash cow.
Jacy Sheldon could be suspended, and it's because of the brutal off-ball shot to Caitlin Clark that has the entire internet on fire. The clip has over 12 million views in 24 hours. Petitions demanding action are flying, and in an unprecedented move, furious fans are canceling their All-Star game tickets in protest. This isn't just another on-court drama. This is a full-blown reckoning for the WNBA. If the league thought it could stay silent while its biggest star, its primary cash cow, got rocked on national television, they were dead wrong. The fans have declared war, and the league is now facing a crisis of its own making.
Watching the Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun game, and I swear every time these two teams go up against one another, something happens, and it's honestly never good.
It was supposed to be a night of triumph. The Indiana Fever were on a roll, playing with a swagger and cohesion they'd been searching for all season. They were chasing their third straight victory, this time against the formidable Connecticut Sun, a team known for its punishing physical defense. And at the center of it all, orchestrating the offense, was Caitlin Clark. She was moving with a renewed confidence, that old brilliance shining through after a nagging injury had briefly kept her sidelined. She was back. In just 28 minutes of play, she had already put up a stat line that most players would be proud of for a full game. 14 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. She looked smooth, unstoppable, like the player the entire world had tuned in to see.
News has not broke that Caitlin Clark's hurt, but you can damn near be prepared for the verdict.
So as you guys can see here, she is dribbling down, she plants her foot, she passes the ball to Kelsey Mitchell on the back door, and then when she is running back on the other end of the court, it seems like she's grabbing her.
And then, in a horrifying instant, it all came crashing down. It wasn't on a dramatic drive to the basket or a collision under the rim. It was on a simple transition play. As she ran back down the court after making a pass, she suddenly crumpled to the floor, her face contorting in pain as she clutched her leg. The entire arena fell silent. For fans watching at home, it was a chilling case of deja vu. The camera zoomed in and their worst fears were confirmed. The groin, the same DMN injury that had bothered her before. Only this time you could tell from her reaction and the concerned looks of her teammates that it was much, much worse.
These referees was completely ridiculous yesterday. It was just
Every time the Indiana Fever plays the Connecticut Sun, it is a very
At first, it looked like just another tragic non-contact injury, a devastating setback for a player who was finally hitting her stride. That was the official story, the one you'd assume was true, but that's not the story the internet saw. Within hours, a different narrative began to take shape, fueled by a single video clip that spread like wildfire across social media. It wasn't a standard highlight, it was a slowed down, frame-by-frame analysis of the moments just before Clark went down, and what it revealed was staggering.
Did you guys notice all the coaches try to grab CC and pull?
And I'm here to tell you, it is not a good moment in the fan base. Fans are quiet online. A lot of people are starting to look like they're reselling their All-Star tickets.
The footage, clear as day from two separate broadcast angles, appeared to show Connecticut Sun player Jacy Sheldon extending her leg in a completely unnatural motion. Her knee drives forward directly into Clark's groin area in a way that had absolutely nothing to do with basketball. It wasn't subtle. It wasn't an accident during a defensive slide. Sheldon's leg was fully off the ground, her knee jutting out in a move that looked anything but accidental. Clark's reaction was immediate and visceral. This wasn't a flop to draw a foul. This was a genuine cry of pain.
Somebody, she hides it really well, and I don't know if hiding it or she handles it is probably the right thing to say. She handles the pressure. She handles all of the media spotlight, the attention.
And the most damning part of it all, the referee was standing right there, just feet away, with a perfect unobstructed view of the entire exchange. He just stood there, motionless, watching as the league's biggest star and primary cash cow writhed on the floor. There was no call, no whistle, no foul was assessed, let alone a flagrant. He did nothing. It was this shocking inaction that turned a controversial play into a full-blown scandal.
Caitlin Clark is getting hurt damn near every week.
The cash cow, the one whose reason who's the reason why the Indiana Fever are known across the globe.
To pretend this incident came out of nowhere is to ignore years of history. This wasn't just aggressive defense in a heated game. This was personal, and the bad blood had been brewing for years. The rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Jacy Sheldon is the stuff of legend, a bitter feud that dates all the way back to their intense college battles. Those games were never just games. They were wars. They were always chippy, filled with elbows, incessant trash talk, and players constantly in foul trouble. It was never just business between them. It always felt deeply personal.
While coaches were refusing to get a technical foul with all the play that's been going on all season long.
This animosity didn't magically disappear when they turned pro. It spilled right over into the WNBA. Earlier this very season, another clip of Sheldon went viral, this one showing her poking Caitlin directly in the eye during a play. It was another one of those moments where the physicality seemed to cross a clear line from competitive to malicious. So with that history established, are we really supposed to believe that this sudden off-ball knee to the groin was just a bizarre coincidence? The pattern was there, the history was there. And this latest incident felt less like a basketball play and more like the violent culmination of a long-standing grudge.
When you're in the WNBA and you have not one, not two, but three incompetent officials all at one time.
The league may have chosen silence, but the fans were screaming. The initial outrage over the no call was immediate and overwhelming, but it quickly morphed into something far more organized and powerful, a full-blown mutiny. For countless new fans, this was the final straw. They felt utterly and completely betrayed. They had bought into the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, pouring their money into tickets, jerseys, and WNBA league passes. They had given the league unprecedented levels of attention and revenue. And what did they get in return? They got to watch the league's golden goose get hacked, whacked, and bruised week after week with seemingly zero protection from the officials.
Caitlin Clark visibly upset with the referee, screaming on the referee.
So they fought back with the only weapon that corporations truly understand, their wallets. In an unprecedented move, fans began to resell their highly coveted WNBA All-Star game tickets. Resale platforms like Ticketmaster and StubHub were suddenly flooded with listings. People weren't just selling them to make a profit. Some were listing them for face value or even less, practically giving them away. It was a quiet digital protest with a message that was thunderously loud and clear. If you won't protect your biggest asset, we are done protecting your bottom line.
More importantly, they're holding Kathy accountable. Kathy Engelbert is the commissioner of the league. She has yet to release a statement, yet to step in to address these WNBA referees.
While fans were busy organizing a digital revolt, the WNBA's front office was a ghost town. As the controversy raged online, as petitions demanding action garnered tens of thousands of signatures, and as every major sports media outlet debated the play and the league's inaction, one person's silence was especially deafening. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. Not a single word. There was no press release saying the league was reviewing the incident. There was no statement backing the officials or explaining their decision. There wasn't even a generic corporate speak message about the league's commitment to player safety. There was just nothing.
Many people could be petitioning for Adam Silver to possibly step in and get.
This wasn't just poor public relations. To the enraged fan base, it felt like a deliberate choice. It was viewed as an implicit endorsement of the on-court violence, a silent signal to the rest of the league that this kind of treatment of Caitlin Clark was acceptable. The commissioner's silence wasn't just an absence of leadership. It was perceived as an act of institutional failure that poured gasoline on an already raging fire, further convincing the fans that the system itself was the problem.
You got to speak up and speak out. At this point, they don't even care if we speak out.
You just see misstep after misstep after misstep. That has nothing to do.
With absolutely no faith left in the WNBA to police itself, the fans did something that was once unthinkable. They started looking for a higher power, and in the massive world of professional basketball, there's only one name that sits above the WNBA commissioner, Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA. Suddenly, his name was being tagged in thousands of tweets, his name appearing in every fan forum and YouTube comment section related to the incident. The plea was desperate and unified. If Kathy Engelbert won't do her job and protect the players, maybe her boss will.
Wow, he's wearing a Caitlin Clark shirt. He's probably pissed off that y'all was cheating, bro.
It was a wild Hail Mary pass, but it showed the sheer level of desperation and the complete collapse of trust in WNBA leadership. This desperation then coalesced into direct action. A formal petition began circulating online, and its demands were shocking. It called for Adam Silver to step in, launch an independent investigation into the officiating and player safety protocols of the WNBA, and in a truly stunning move to remove Engelbert from her position as commissioner altogether. And that petition wasn't just a fringe movement, it was racking up signatures at an alarming rate, proving that the fan base was no longer just asking for change. They were ready for a civil war to get it.
She literally got a Caitlin Clark fan ejected from the game.
Just when you thought the entire situation couldn't get any more absurd, it did. During that very same game, a bizarre subplot unfolded that perfectly captured the league's twisted and broken sense of justice. A fan sitting courtside and proudly wearing a Caitlin Clark jersey was unceremoniously ejected from TD Garden, his alleged crime. According to the player who complained, Sonia Rivers, he was clapping too aggressively near her. Video of the incident shows no obvious confrontation, no foul language, just a fan supporting his team. Yet security was on him in a flash, escorting him out of the building as if he posed a genuine threat.
No, this coach is just more concerned about playing along, playing politics.
The irony was so thick you could choke on it. Jacy Sheldon could allegedly throw a knee directly into a player's groin on the court and face absolutely no consequences. But a fan clapping too hard in the stands gets you thrown out of the arena. The message this sent was chillingly clear. In today's WNBA, a star player's body is somehow less protected than a rival player's ears. It was a complete parody of justice, and it made the league look not just incompetent, but utterly ridiculous.
Caitlin Clark, she is your star player. She's having an injury that is jumping. It's not one that is just staying in one area. It's jumping from quad to groin and now to another groin.
Let's be brutally honest about the money. The Caitlin Clark effect isn't just hype. It's a financial tidal wave that has lifted the entire WNBA. We're talking about television ratings shattering previous records, arenas selling out across the country, and merchandise flying off the shelves. Reports indicate that Caitlin Clark jerseys alone account for nearly 60% of all WNBA jersey sales. She is a one-woman stimulus package. The league is happily cashing the checks, signing new TV deals, and basking in the glow of mainstream relevance it has never experienced before.
But this news is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA.
And that's what makes their inaction so infuriating. This is a billion-dollar betrayal. You can't build your entire marketing campaign and business model around a single player, plaster her face on every promotion, and then let her take damage on the court like she's expendable. It's a level of hypocrisy that is staggering. Every time she gets hit with a cheap shot that goes uncalled, it's not just a failure to protect a player. It's a direct risk to the financial future of the league. They are actively endangering their most valuable asset, and the fans see it for what it is: the ultimate form of mismanagement.
They say the hype around Caitlin Clark is just hype. Like, no, she is an incredible basketball player. She does things on the court that we have not seen in the women's game.
Beyond the immediate outrage and financial implications, this whole fiasco is causing long-term damage that may be impossible to repair. It's poisoning the well for an entire generation of new fans. Think about the message this sends. Every time the league fails to protect its biggest star, it tells every young girl watching from home that this is what they can expect. It tells the millions of new viewers, the Gen Z audience, the NBA crossover fans, the international eyes, that the WNBA is a league where stars aren't safe and accountability doesn't exist.
What impresses me most about her is her ability to step up in big moments. When the bright lights are on, Caitlin Clark.
These are the very fans the league desperately needs to retain for its future growth, and they are being shown a dysfunctional, poorly managed product. Why would they stick around? Why would they invest their time and money in a league that appears so fundamentally broken? This is bigger than Caitlin Clark. It's about the credibility of the brand. If the takeaway from this historic season is that the league can't or won't protect its own, then the Caitlin Clark effect will be remembered not as a boom period, but as a massive squandered opportunity.
Because she's a ball dominant guard. She's a distributor of the bad.
This all leads us to the darkest and most disturbing question of all. Is this just gross incompetence, or is it something closer to sabotage? A terrifying theory has begun to gain traction, suggesting the league might be allowing Clark to take this punishment to maintain competitive balance and avoid favoring its new superstar. If there is even a shred of truth to this, it's an outright betrayal of the sport itself. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's season hangs in the balance, a potential casualty in a war she never asked to be a part of. This is no longer just a controversy about a single dirty play. It's a moment of reckoning for the WNBA. The league is at a crossroads, and the path it chooses next won't just decide the fate of its biggest star, but the very credibility and future of the sport itself.